This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code CFN. Still, it's not like we're going to change it from episode to episode. It's going to be the same.
We just decided to rebrand ourselves in the middle of this pre-roll ad read. So, CFN, guys. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to episode 206. My name is Graham Elwood.
I'm Chris Mancini, and you know what? It's kind of cool to be in the 200s, episode-wise.
We are, and because we're going to talk about a movie today that has a 300 in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Halfway to 600 for the movie.
That's the title of the new 300 movie? Halfway to 600.
Rise of Math.
Rise of Math. I did the Farley Brothers podcast a couple weeks ago, and I don't know why I kept cutting numbers in half. And he was like, John Farley was like, wow, you're a math-having genius. They
even tweeted that.
Yeah, they called me a math-having genius.
So we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, we're halfway to 412.
The first thing I want to mention is that the cart is fixed.
Yay!
I mean, last week we were talking about the cart's not exactly working, and it was a PayPal issue. Isn't that surprising? A giant bank giving us an issue.
Internet bank was weird. That seems puzzling.
So the cart is fixed, and we went into the cart and we saw all of the failed orders, and it made us sad. And so we apologize for that inconvenience. You can go back and use the cart now. The other thing I want to mention is a lot of people are still emailing and say, hey, can I help out with the Kickstarter? I know that it's over, but we still want to help out with the movie. And the answer is now you can. Now that the cart is fixed, you can actually go in. We have a $25 and the $50 pre-sale tiers. You can buy as many of those as you like if you want to pre-order the download or the DVD. The other thing we have is a custom donation. You just want to throw in $5 or whatever. You could put whatever you want in, all the way up to. In fact, we had a very generous sponsor just give us a $12,000 donation and one of the $10,000 tier. If you want one of the non-limited tiers on the Kickstarter, put it in the customer notes. We should be able to accommodate you depending on which one you want. But generally, if it's non-limited, we should be able to honor it. Yeah.
Then thank you guys. That's such an awesome thing. And so we've been getting,
because it's still going to help the movie. We're still throwing every penny into the movie, and it'll mean we'll be able to go more places, extend the shoot. Get the editor for more time. Everything helps. Even if you're like, $5 isn't going to make a difference. It actually does.
Yeah.
Because it all goes into the same pool to make the movie better.
This big money that it's looking like maybe we might be able to go to Australia now or something.
Because of you guys. Because of you guys.
And I've been going through a lot of the emails you guys have sent and trying to set up interviews with various people and I'm really pumped. Like, as we're doing pre-production, I'm seeing all of the cool stories and emails that we've gotten and like where we can start to go logistically.
We're starting to map it out, actually. It's going to be, Midwest, East Coast, and, West Coast, and also looks looking like Australia now.
Australia. So, and one of the other places, and today is March 11th, which is National 311 Day.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
If you're fans of the band 311, which I am. And also today, Sanai, a big fan Japan, posted that it was 3 years ago today that she learned how many people in the comedy film nerds world cared about her and how loved she felt. Because what that means is 3 years ago today is when that awful tsunami and earthquake happened in Japan. And we had only been doing the podcast about a little over a year at that point, year and a half. And one of the cool, obviously that event was awful, but one of the positive things to come out of it was all you guys that had heard us talking about Sanai, the pronunciation of her name in Japanese is Sanai Narita. In American, it's Sandy.
Sandy Nanato.
Sandy Nanato, who lives in Hong Kong, Tokyo, the capital of East Korea. And I love Chinese food. So, we'd obviously...
spicy.
It's too spicy. I like Panda Express. They really know what they're doing. Yeah. They should have more of those in China. So, yeah, that was we've talked about her a lot as, our fan in Japan, big fan in Japan. And you guys, one of the cool things was you guys all started talking to each other on Twitter and becoming friends. So when this awful thing happened 3 years ago today, all of you were reaching out asking if she was okay. And it was such a cool moment to see that this little thing that Chris and I had built with a community had started to form, and that you guys like care and are looking out for each other. So we just want to say
it was amazing.
It was amazing in the in the shadow of this obvious awful event that I'm sure Japan is still recovering from.
We got other emails too. Another expat fan, Andy Utek, said that he was walking home, wondering if his family was okay.
Right,
listening to us, and it gave him a modicum of comfort.
That's all he could do was listen to podcasts he had already downloaded on his iPhone, and couldn't get call or get any electricity or anything. So
we saved all these emails too. They've been really amazing.
Big shout out from the Gargoyle Garage to Sandy Naruto. So, if more people kick in, who knows? Who knows, Sandy? Maybe
we might get to Japan.
Maybe you and I will finally have the sword battle that we've been so.
I mean, Australia and Japan, it's not that far.
Oh, by the way, I want when the Kickstarter funded and I posted crazy photos of me without my shirt on and my katana, and I said I'm so glad it funded because I almost was going to commit seppuku. Sandy, you said I will perform kaishaku. Do you know what that means? Yes, I do. That kaishaku is the second. If you perform seppuku and you ask a trusted friend
to cut your head off,
to be the second in that. So yes, Sandy,
that's an honor.
It is, and yes, Sandy, you can be my second. You can perform kaishaku. Had this movie not funded, that
would have been one of the tiers.
The seppuku tier. Still time, guys. Go into Comedy Film Nerds into the store.
Write in customer notes. Seppuku tier.
Customer notes. I think we know how the movie ends now. We have our ending. It's me in Japan. And I will quote a line from The Last Samurai is, if you spent your entire life looking for the perfect cherry blossom, it would not be a wasted life. And then boom, seppuku, kaishaku, we're out. Credits roll. So we have an exciting episode.
Yep. I want to talk briefly about Squarespace. As you know, they're our sponsor for the next month. And we're going to be getting some really cool swag in pretty soon to be able to send out with the orders. Now that the cart is fixed, it's all even. It's all working out.
Sorry, guys, that you were trying to buy stuff and we were like, nope.
It's like, it was like, well, everyone's giving money to Kickstarter. That's why there's no orders coming.
No, our store broke.
No, because PayPal, shut us off because we owed them $15 and didn't know it.
Yeah, it was $15.
Yeah. That's and we didn't even know it was an expired credit card in their system. So anyway, we want to talk about Squarespace. Now, I want to talk about this because this is something that actually, Graham, you did. I want to know, like you started out with because we have customers and Squarespace has customers. Like, I already have a website. Why would I want to move to Squarespace?
I tell you why I did it was because it was easier to manage than what I was using. Okay. And
in what way, Graham?
Well, as many of you know, I'm not very technically proficient, which is good that I run a podcast and produce it.
And have a website. With a broken cart.
I do a festival that centers around this technology. I needed really easy management of my stuff because, putting in new tour dates and uploading new content, I need it to be easy.
Sure.
And I noticed that Squarespace, before they started sponsoring us or me or anything like that, was really gearing everything towards for entertainment. Yeah, it's just the Graham Elwood, the Graham Elwood template. So that's what I really liked about it. And then just talking to other comedians who'd gone over to it and filmmakers like Kimberly Browning from Hollywood Shorts, who's been on the show she has been sending filmmakers who are like new young filmmakers, like, hey, I need a website. She's like, do it here.
Send them to Squarespace.
Because you can embed Vimeo and YouTube and all this cool stuff.
For trailers and stuff.
It's so easy, man. Like, if I can do it, trust me, you can.
Yeah.
Trust me, you can. So, again, coupon code CFN.
Yep, and it's 10% off. Now, I do want to profile another film website. Now, this isn't necessarily a filmmaker website, but this is a musician who wants to do film scoring. And this is Michael Wayne, and you can check out his music at michaelwaynemusic.org. And he's I was listening to his music too, and what it is, it's very atmospheric. You could tell like why he wants to get into doing film scores. Now, for all the filmmakers listening right now, this is a great opportunity for you guys, especially if you're doing shorts or smaller projects or it's your first feature, because you've got a guy who's very talented. I actually listened to his music. I liked it. Michael Wayne. But also, he wants to actually make that transition into film scoring, so you'll be able to get him very cheap.
Yeah, man.
So, because he's going to need it for his reel. So, it's a great combination of, like, talent and also price that for filmmakers that you always want to hit that sweet spot because your budget is very limited, but you also don't want
to sacrifice quality.
Yeah, you don't want your neighbor doing your score for it. You want an actual musician. So,
well, wait, hold on. It depends on who your neighbor are.
Right. I'm just saying if your neighbor is not a musician, and just go, oh, I have a piano. Let me do your. Let me do your score.
I have a piano. So you're talking about you, because you own a piano and you're not a musician.
Yeah, I'm saying you should not pick me to do your score, is what I'm saying. You should pick michaelwaynemusic.org and check out his music and give him this is the Squarespace site that he did. And you know what? Look, it's just what we're talking about. It looks clean. It's easy to navigate. And I could click and listen to samples of music very
Squarespace.com and use coupon code CFN.
Yep. All right.
I want to thank everybody real quick who came up to see me and Jackie-cation at beautiful Harvey's in Lake Tahoe, and Howie Nave. It was fun. It was good times. Good times had by all. Just like this crazy phone call that's coming in on Chris's fax machine. Oh my God, it's the 90s calling. They want their outdated technology. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Why is that still ringing?
I don't know. I shut it off.
Leave us alone. The robots are coming.
Well, that's, some fax machines, they refuse to die.
Maybe that's the guest we were supposed to have on the show calling to cancel again. Guys, we were going to have Alonzo Bodden on the show. Very excited to have him on the show. But he called at the very last minute, and he has to do a CNN interview.
Yes.
There's a Funny or Die sketch I think he did with President Obama.
Yeah, there's a new big one right now for the Affordable Care Act. He's the one with Zach Galifianakis with Between Two Ferns. I just watched it this morning.
Oh, man, is that hilarious. So, Alonzo...
we understand.
We understand.
And thanks for calling us in a timely manner.
Yeah. He goes, I'm sorry to big time you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why the president has precedent over us.
CNN, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. We're in a garage talking about movies next to T-shirts.
You just picked one entertainment show over another.
That's... And he goes, I don't care if you guys badmouth me as long as you spell my name right. Said he learned that from Ant.
Yeah.
So Alonzo...
No publicity is bad publicity.
No, it's not. Follow him online. I'm sure it's alonzobodden.com. So we'll have him back on the show. All right, let's get into some movies, some motion pictures.
Yeah, wait a minute. Now, also, Kimberly Browning gives us a lot of shit, too, about not having enough black people on the podcast.
Yeah. Well,
so guess what? We tried.
We tried, Kimberly. And he blew us off for the president. So whatever.
Not our fault, not racist.
All right, well, let's talk about...
we got some great movies to talk about.
Wow, that is a big stretch.
We
have...
I don't mean today. I just, in general.
Future episodes, there's going to be great movies. Today, however...
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, now, it was date night in our house this weekend. So we were like, okay, our big fun date. I had a birthday. I'm late 30s again. Yes, very late 30s. And, went to see Book of Mormon. It was a fun weekend.
That's a great show.
Loved it. And the big thing that, my wife and I do is like our favorite date is dinner, a nice place, and a movie. So we looked at all the listings, and we noticed that Philomena was playing. So we were going to go see Philomena until we found out it was at like this shitty theater that stinks and that a lot of times you go and it's like it's out of focus. Like they literally can't get their shit together for this theater. So we're like, well, you know, why don't we go see 300 Rise of the Empire instead? And it, oddly enough, my wife's idea. So.
Well, then you're off the hook. You're off the hook.
Because you're like, I want to see a night, you know, don't get out the movies as much as I do, and wants to see like a big giant movie on a big giant screen that, you know, is much more enjoyable than, you know, Philomena you could see on a smaller screen.
You could rent
so,
that.
Yeah. But I do want to see it. So we went to see 300 Rise of an Empire, and I have to say, it was really fun. It was not a bad movie at all.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it, and here's why. Because it isn't even that it's a sequel. It's like a semi-sequel where it's like it shows the events that are happening while, you know, the Spartans are holding the hot gates, and then it goes a little bit beyond that. So it's almost like a side story that shows kind of like what the Greeks were doing and what was happening on the ocean, like the naval battles.
During that time.
During what was going on. So, and, you know, a little bit before and a little bit after. And it had the amazing style that Zack Snyder had, but this movie had a lot of pitfalls that it easily could have fallen into, and it didn't. That's why I like this movie.
So just real quick, Zack Snyder was one of the writers on this movie, but he did not direct it. No,
but
Murrow did.
Yeah, but the movie was definitely in good hands because as I'm watching these action sequences and the stylized way that the movie was shot, just like 300, it's amazing, and it's really it's visceral, it's gritty, and the other thing it is absolutely absurd. So when you're watching it, it's so easy to suspend like disbelief because you're watching something that's so stylized and so ridiculous. It's like you're watching it. Oh, well, this is happening on another planet. So in a weird way too, because the gore is so over the top, you know, the limbs and heads and the blood, like the CG blood that splatters everywhere. It's not. It's more fun because it looks like you're watching a cartoon. It's like it's just more fun and it's less real, and you can really just go, okay, well, this is a fantasy movie. I'm watching like Lord of the Rings with more blood, even though technically it's based on historical events. But let's not get bogged down there. I don't think we were going for historical accuracy on this movie. So I'm watching this movie, and it's stylized, it's fun, it's great, it's not too long, it's the perfect length, and it's just a visceral, fun, good time. However, there are some standouts, though. The girl that plays the head villain, Eva Green, who plays like the naval commander who's fighting Theomopolis or whoever the Greek, whoever the Greek leader was. Right. It doesn't matter. You're not going to remember
Green's
the names
great.
either.
She was in Casino Royale. She was in.
Yes, she's an actual actress, and you know what? She brings this crazy, homicidal villain to life in this movie, and she almost steals the movie. She's so good in it. Like, to give you an example, it's like she, cuts off a guy's head and then kisses it, and then throws it overboard, but. Now,
Artemisia, I think is her. I don't know.
If you have an actress that can't pull that off, it just looks like a Sci-Fi Channel movie of the week. But she makes you believe it, like, oh, she really would do that.
Yeah,
she's out of her goddamn mind.
Yeah, she loves kissing decapitated heads.
Corpses. Like, okay, well, that's what she does. So.
That's kind of her thing.
Yeah,
that's her hobby. Some people do needlepoint. She kisses guys' heads.
Nickname. Deadhead kisser.
I think, isn't that her Twitter handle?
Yeah.
At Deadhead Kisser?
Hashtag Deadhead Kisser. JGL. Anyway.
Hashtag JGL.
Again, I'm watching this movie. I never once checked my watch. It was just a really fun, crazy movie, and the effects do not disappoint. In fact, it even looked a little better than 300, just like the depth and the detail and the camera movements and stuff. And one of the things that I will say, it's one of those movies, too. If you like the first one, you're going to like this one. There's nobody going that, oh, man, I thought the first one was awful, that it was too stylized, I didn't like it, but I love the second one. No, it's a pair. They go hand in hand. Right. You like the first one, you're going to like the second one. If you hated the first one, you're not going to love the second one, but I would say still give the second one a try because it really kind of ups the ante. Like, it was one of those things where you could easily have made like a money grab sequel. And clearly that's how this started. Is like, oh, this did so well. I mean, it's not based on another graphic novel. 300 did not have Frank Miller did not write a sequel to 300, the graphic novel. So, you watch this movie and you go, okay, the filmmakers actually cared about making a compelling movie based on this world and on this original graphic novel and this original story. So, I'm giving it a recommendation. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a good time at the movies, and I don't know if you necessarily need to see it in 3D, although if you do, a lot of blood will come right at you. But
Lena Headey is in it.
Yeah. And the other thing that I loved about it too is the effects were not. They were that perfect mix of they were stylized but not overwhelming, where you look like, well, I'm just watching a cartoon. Like it was really like there was enough actual people and enough actual action in there that did not have a green screen that you really felt immersed in the film. So yeah, recommendation: 300: Rise of an Empire. Despite what it could have been, it actually exceeded expectations and rose above the pitfalls that were clearly set out for it to make this
300:
movie.
Rise of an Empire.
Yep.
Sounds like a work it.
Yep, it was Rise of a sequel.
Ooh.
It really was. It is. It's a work it.
Hashtag work it. Sadly, I did not have the same experience when I went to go see Nonstop.
Oh, we almost saw that one instead.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go see 300. And I was like, no, I think Nonstop's going to be better. Because I was thinking, I'm not that excited for 300.
Right.
Wow, Nonstop is a bad movie.
Ah, that's a shame. I was hoping Liam Neeson would just kind of bring it home.
Well, he just does this every year now. Like, this is his wheelhouse. Like, let's shoot one of these things that's going to come out in January, February, March, or whatever.
So no wolves.
No wolves, no snakes. Had terrorists. This movie starts out compelling. Mm-hmm. The way they introduce him, it's got some cool camera stuff. He's sitting in his car. You see him at the airport, and he's air marshal. He's clearly got a drinking problem. There's some personal stuff going on in his life, but they keep it all very vague. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, wow, this is going to be really interesting as we uncover. This is all going to get woven into the story. You know the premise if you've seen the trailer. He's on a plane and someone's like, we're going to kill someone. And then they make it seem like he's getting framed. And then it just goes and does every dumb thing and just gets so out of control.
Hits the cliche meter?
Oh, my God. It punches the cliche meter in the face and then reassembles a bigger cliche meter with the broken cliche meter parts. Yeah. It's this guy who directs it is Jean-Colette Serra.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay, so he directed another one of these, Unknown, which was that was 2011. And he directed Orphan and House of Wax. So he
really gets filmmaking.
Jesus. I almost lost a lung. Like Unknown was,
without Liam Neeson again.
Again, Liam Neeson would be the
and Frank Langella.
Again, Unknown was the only. Liam Neeson was the only reason I went to go see Unknown, and it's the only reason I went to see Nonstop. If it starred anyone else, I'd be like, forget it. Mm-hmm. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. These movies. It was written by probably 15 people. I'm seeing there's 5 writer credits on IMDb. Liam's doing his best. He's trying hard. Julianne Moore's trying hard. But it just becomes preposterous and dumb, and
there's not a lot of places to go on an airplane.
There's nowhere to go. This is why these movies always fail. You know what I mean? It's just you can't. There's no other thing.
Remember that one with Jodie Foster where no one saw her kid disappear?
Yeah.
Then like, really? No one saw it on an airplane.
On a plane.
No one saw your kid.
But it's a big plane.
She doesn't exist. Your kid doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And then they're trying to show you like these are the protocols in case this would happen. I'm like, well then I guess TSA has the dumbest protocols in the event of one of these things ever. Like I don't know where they researched this, but it's and I thought, it'll be kind of dumb, but it'll be fun. And it's not even that fun. There's not a lot of action because you can't have big fight scenes in a small plane.
No, you can't.
Well, what can you do? You can't be shooting people. You can't blow anything up. You can't throw a guy through a window. Like there's
no zombies.
You painted yourself into the dumbest corner and then fought your way out through a bag of wet cliches. Like it's the stupidest thing ever. go see Nonstop. This is a hashtag leave it if there ever was one.
So go see 300 Rise of an Empire.
Go see
instead.
300 Rise of an Empire. Or go see this movie that our Kung Fu friend Rick Myers turned us on to.
Oh, yeah,
you just saw.
Yeah, I did. I
saw the trailer.
Movie.
I haven't seen it yet, Rick, so don't be mad at me.
Yeah. This is Journey to the West. This is a new Stephen Chow movie, and it was a huge movie in China. Something like 160 million it passed, something like that. And it's a really fun movie. And the other thing I like too about these movies, like generally when you have special effects in other countries, they look nothing like they're always a few years behind with what the American companies are doing. But now with this movie, like the effects actually look really cool. They really had some cool effects, some computer effects, some practical effects. And one of the things that I really liked about this movie is it had Stephen Chow's formula of like bizarre, surreal scenes, like metaphoric scenes, and it had goofy scenes, and it had exciting action scenes. Although this one added a few more things. There was actually...
And also deeply rooted in Buddhism.
Very deeply rooted in Buddhism. In fact, Buddha makes a little cameo in the movie.
Buddha's got a cameo.
Yeah,
That's great.
Because
he directed it.
Yes,
he directs us all.
Yeah. Without us knowing. Anyway, one of the things that I loved about it too is his movies always mash genres. There's always that kind of playful humor in it, but also there's the serious subtext and the metaphoric elements to it as well, whether they're about Buddhism or Kung Fu, any of those things together. Obviously they're closely related, but one of the things I loved about it is the just like surreal and nature of the genre mashup. Like even though the genres were mashing up, it was like some of the scenes were like, where's this scene going? And it went like in a completely off in a weird tangent direction, but you didn't mind because it was such a fun movie. Like it had everything to do with unrequited love to Kung Fu to demons to the path to reconciliation and redemption and all these really interesting Kung Fu mantras and cool Buddhism stuff. And it was really a fun genre mashup. Now, on the surface, does it make sense? Not all of it, no, especially to a Western audience. Don't watch this movie thinking you're just going to see like some kind of like Matrix movie that has like a lot of special effects. It's not like that at all. And but it's a really fun movie, and it's also you get a glimpse at like another culture, another belief system, and also but it's also fun and engaging, and it's got fun characters and a cool story, and it's a really. I doubt you're going to catch it in a movie theater out here, but I believe it's on demand in iTunes. You're going to catch it. It's Journey to the West, Stephen Chow.
Journey to the West, Conquering the Demons.
Conquering the Demons
is the film. And here's the thing with Stephen Chow. This guy, the last movie he directed was a kids film called CJ7, and he did it in 2008. Before that, he did Kung Fu Hustle 10 years ago in 2004 and Shaolin Soccer in 2001. Like, if you have not seen Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle, you really need to see these movies.
And do not see the Weinstein butchered version of Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah.
Watch the actual movie that is subtitled. And it's, you know what? It's literally a completely different movie.
And Kung Fu Hustle is one of the most...
It's innovative. It's an innovative,
inventive
Kung Fu movies.
Kung Fu movies that you're ever going to see. Like, it is unbelievable how, like you say, it mixes all these genres in there. And
there's laugh out loud funny parts in that movie.
Laugh out loud funny parts. And amazing action scenes. And again, this sort of, this Buddhist heart to it, which is just, which is awesome about, unlocking the best parts of ourselves.
And this movie too even delves a little bit deeper into the genre mashing, where it actually goes into some horror elements too. Like there's a couple really creepy scenes that you're like, ooh, now I'm watching a horror movie. But Stephen Chow is so talented that he can navigate them back and forth.
Just like, the trailer, I was like, what? Mm-hmm. Yes, Rick Myers gave us a copy of this, so you've watched it, now it's my turn.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rick. And guys, check this out, Journey to the West, Conquering the Demons. All right. What other demons do we need to conquer?
We on DVD?
Let's conquer the demons of DVD.
We have The Book Thief and Inside Llewyn Davis, which I really enjoy. This is a great Coen Brothers movie. It's, like all Coen Brothers movies, your mind can't drift, because if you miss one or two lines of dialogue, that might be the one or two lines, even though they were said subtly, has a payoff, 40 minutes later that you're going to go, wait, where did that come from? So it's like all their movies, it demands a second viewing, and more of it will become clear, very metaphorical, but also a great story, too. Not laugh out loud funny.
No. Llewyn Davis is one of those movies that, like, it deserved its Oscar buzz and everything. Right. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, now's a chance to watch it on DVD. It's a good film, and it's like you said, it's the Coen Brothers. If you like their movies, you're going to like this, and it's really cool in how they. I was talking to Mary Zofries, who did Murray Valeriano's wife, who did the costume on it, and she said the Coen Brothers wanted the tone. The color palette and everything. It's a color movie, but it kind of looks like black and white. Of that, there's a Bob Dylan album cover. I forget the name of it.
It's like a very muted color.
Very muted color, and they wanted the whole movie to look like that because it's that era of New York, and so it's really cool. And it's one of these movies. We talk about this on the show, guys. If you're going to watch it as a DVD, turn the lights off, turn the phone off, and watch it.
Right.
Out of the Furnace.
This one, I would say skip. You're not missing anything. This is the Woody Harrelson hillbilly movie, Pennsylvania hillbilly movie.
I will say that I personally wouldn't say skip it. I would say this is actually a decent DVD rental in the sense that if you want something to do, there's some really good individual scenes in the film because it's got all these solid actors like Zoe Saldana and
Christian Bale. He plays a dreamy hick. He really does.
He does play a dreamy.
Yeah, if no one plays dreamy white trash like Christian Bale.
Casey Affleck is in it,
who is very one note. Not his fault.
Not his fault.
But ultimately there's scenes that will simply ruin
really
this film for you.
And
like there's some solid scenes, but then there's the other scenes like. There's like, well, this is just my one last score, then I'm out.
Yeah,
oh, dear Lord, please. Yeah. Okay, well, then you have 5. You have one more scene to live. Then.
Yeah, we know you're dead then.
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker's in it. But so this is a movie you have on while you check your emails, and then tune in. Just kind of glance away from your laptop to watch a cool acting scene between Christian Bale and Zoe Saldana or something like that.
Yeah, and. So it was one of those movies that had kind of high aspirations but missed the mark.
Yeah.
Next one is Beyond Outrage. This is the sequel to Outrage, which I actually didn't like that much, but Graham really liked it. So I found it to be kind of murder porn towards the end. It was just all death.
This is another Yakuza death movie with Takashi Kitano. So I want to see this.
Now's your chance.
Now's your chance.
And premiering this week, Need for Speed. I don't know anyone on the planet who looked at that trailer and went, you know what, this is going to be a good movie.
So it's a video game? Is that what this is based on?
Yes, based on a video game. But the other thing, too, I feel bad for Aaron Paul. Like, after Breaking Bad, this is what you got offered? I mean, that's a shame.
He's such a solid actor.
Give him something better.
Yeah, absolutely give him something.
So I don't know if anyone's excited to see this. Chances are nobody over here will be seeing that movie this weekend. Not even Neil. So if you want to email or put on the message boards what you thought of it, we'd love to hear from you.
We'd love to hear from you.
The Veronica Mars movie is coming out. Now, this is another Kickstarter success story. Made millions of dollars in Kickstarter. In fact, they're starting to pay back the donors now with special screenings, like they had one at South by Southwest, but they're going to L.A., New York. They have to have them. That's what was part of the deal.
It's one of those things that's so cool because it was like I was never that into the TV show, but I want to see the movie. I don't think I ever watched the TV show just because of the story behind it. The fans said, the network said, oh, bad ratings or whatever based on this archaic Nielsen system.
Yeah.
And then the fans went, no, this is really great. And then they kickstarted it. We want to see a movie. We want to see a movie. And they did it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I'm excited. I want to go support it just to see it, and I think it's a
And then the
thing.
studio put in the rest of the budget, but ultimately that never would have happened without the fans, the Kickstarter.
Right.
And it was always one of those TV shows. I never watched it either, but I would always get emails or calls from friends saying, you should be watching this show. It's good, especially when it was about to get canceled. I remember getting like a flurry of emails because the fans that love the show really love the show. It's like, you got to watch the show. It's going to get canceled. And sure enough, it got canceled. But it was like Firefly. It had like that kind of rabid fan base. So yeah, it's good to see it come back. And the one thing I will say, if you do see the movie, I was reading that if you haven't seen the TV show, there's actually a recap in the movie, so you could kind of get up to speed. The next movie is Enemy, and this we already have a review of up on the site. Lord Corrett in New York went to a premiere screening, so you could check out what he thought of the movie.
It's a pretty interesting concept. It says a man seeks out his exact lookalike after spotting him in a movie, and it's with Jake Gyllenhaal. And it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, and I'm sure you guys will email me. Tell me how wrong I was.
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve. He is the director of Prisoners, which is a movie I actually liked. It had some.
I still haven't seen it yet.
It had some moments that whatever, but it overall I liked it. So I am curious to see this, and it just sounds like one of these interesting little, indie films that could be really cool and inventive. So it just sounds like a cool idea.
Cool. And Bad Words. Don't you have a press screening of that today?
There's no way I'll make that.
Okay.
Did you forget about the conversation we had before of all this stuff
from 4 hours ago? Yeah, I believe I did. Yeah.
So
see Bad Words. I'm curious to see this movie. It looks like kind of one of those. I mean, I like Jason Bateman.
Yeah. And he directed it.
Yeah, so I'd be curious to see this movie.
A spelling bee loser sets out to exact revenge by finding a loophole and attempting to win as an adult. It just sounds like it's right in his...
Yeah, it sounds fun. Yeah.
In his perfect... somebody told me, one of your emails said you want me to stop using the term wheelhouse. Never tell a comedian to not say something. Now I'm going to say wheelhouse every other word. This is right in his wheelhouse. Hashtag wheelhouse.
Oh, God. Wow. My ears just started hurting. That was weird.
All right.
Well, that's it. That is our show. Well, Sans Alonzo Bodden.
Watch him on CNN.
Yeah, he's on CNN.
12:40 Pacific time. All right, guys. So, got some cool tour dates coming up in the LA area. March 22nd, I'll be headlining the Improv in Hollywood, California. That's Saturday, March 22nd at 8 p.m. And then in beautiful Burbank, California, March 30th, headlining at 7 p.m. At Flappers in Burbank. You're going to be on that show.
Yeah, that'll be a great show. So 7 o'clock it starts?
7 o'clock, Sunday, March 30th. So if you guys are anywhere in the LA area, there's 2 shows to come out and check me out at. Those are on GrahamElwood.com and ComedyFilmers.com. You can link to ticketing and all that stuff. And if you really want to go, maybe email me directly, and I can work out some sort of deal.
What? Are you saying there's a comp list?
Ooh, maybe.
Intriguing.
I know there is for flappers. So check that out, guys. And of course, at Comedy Film Nerds and at Chris J. Mancini, at Graham Elwood. Follow us on the Twitters. And like we said, the cart is now working. You could buy stuff again, and also there is actually a page in the cart, a section just for earbuds, and you could pick one of those 3 tiers: $25, $50, or a custom. And let's all collectively get excited for the fact that summer movies are starting to roll out.
They're getting very close. Tick, 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 tick.
We're less than a month from Winter Soldier.
I think we're gonna, we'll schedule our summer movie preview show pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll start doing. I know we haven't done a spoiler up in a while, guys. We'll start doing that again. We just got kind of
nonstop.
Yeah, we'll do it. Jesus, here's the spoiler app. Don't see it. We'll start doing more spoiler ups, guys. So we just got busy with the Kickstarter and the holidays and all that business, but we like doing the spoilers. We will do more spoiler ups. Email us some spoiler up ideas.
Sure, whatever ones you want to. You want to hear about.
And even if you got some crazy classic movie you want us to spoiler up or something, I don't know.
Maybe we'll do those too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we got planned. We're going to be doing.
It's going to be hot business. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We want to thank Alonzo Bodden for not being on the show.
Next time.
And thank you guys for listening.
He even saw 300 in anticipation.
I know, he saw 300 in anticipation. I hope he liked it as much as Chris did.
Yes.
I'm glad we didn't get to see Nonstop.
Yeah.
And
because we would have said maybe that's why he canceled. Yes.
yeah, you made me see Nonstop. I'm not coming to your dumb show. And thank you to everybody who supported Kickstarter. Thank you to everybody that reached out to Big Fan Japan 3 years ago. And my name is Graham Elwood.
I'm Chris Mancini, and as always, remember,
Han shot first.
Squarespace.